Welcome to the Change Energizer podcast, the show where leaders are dropped into the hot seat to open up about high stakes wins and reveal the trust X factor behind their triumphs. I'm your host, Scott Carley, the Trust Energizer. I believe the confidence people have in the way you show up, your character and expertise is the real game changer. When trust is high, teams don't just perform, they pull off legendary Super Bowl wins. Today our guest is Mario Robles from Schooley Mitchell. You call Mario when you want to cut costs and boost profitability. So welcome to the show, Mario.
Hi, Scott. Thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Mario Robles. I am a strategic partner at Schooley Mitchell. Schooley Mitchell is the largest cost reduction firm in North America. We've worked with over 32,000 different clients across the country and in Canada.
Wow.
So what I really like about what we do is because we work with so many different industries, we're able to provide the benchmarks necessary to renegotiate on your behalf, right? We don't focus on that 80% of those expenses that go, if you're a manufacturer that go into the manufacturing. We're not experts at that. If you're a manufacturer or if you're in healthcare, you are an expert at that. We focus on that 20% of expenses that are in the background. Those things like telecommunications, waste management, your merchant services. There's 18 different categories that we're experts at. We're able to negotiate on behalf using the data that we've used over the clients that we've worked with. And the best thing about it is we will not have any fees up front. It's all on a contingency basis, meaning if we don't find you a savings, you're optimized, right? You don't have to pay us anything. So it's a free audit, right? It's a win-win for our clients.
Oh man, I love that. Now, how many clients did you say?
32,000 clients over close to 30 years.
Wow, man, that's a lot of people. So you must kind of know a little bit about what you're doing, right?
I have a team of experts that support my services, and that's what I love about it. Being able to have a team of experts, and I'm the 80-20 guy, right? I have to know a little bit of everything that's going to help me with my clients, how to advise my clients on these. But I also have a team that's they're top notch. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's what I love about a lot of organizations. We're the person you see, and here I'm Scott Carley, I'm it. But what you don't always see behind us is this huge team of experts who have that specific knowledge that we might not have, but they've got it, and I've got access to it all. So rock on, man. I love that, Mario. Every one of your clients, prospects, and decision makers are silently asking you a series of trust-based questions based on every sign that you give them. They may not say it out loud, but they're scanning for signals, looking for proof that you're someone that they can rely on, collaborate with, and work alongside. That's exactly why I created the Trust Credit Score, a framework built around the 5 key signals of trust. Your vibe check, your agenda and motives. Do you walk your talk? Can you actually deliver? And do you have receipts? So today, I'm putting you in the hot seat to answer the top 8 questions your clients are already asking, whether they realize it or not, about your professional services. This is real, unscripted insight into how trust is built, earned, and protected in high-stake environments. So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Hope you're ready. Are you feeling any heat on the hot seat?
Oh man, let me turn on the fan. I have a little fan here I need to turn on just so that I don't start sweating here.
Yeah. You're going to be sweating bullets. The whole wide world will know it. So here we go. So Mario, first question I want to throw at you, and this is something we all want to know. What's the wildest high-stake challenge your team ever faced where failure would have been a total disaster?
Well, there's a case study that comes to mind that related to a client of ours. It was a school district that operated 26 locations, right, across the district. And they came in looking to see if there was a way to save them on their telecom expenses, right? Come to find out after the audit, we discovered that they had unused lines that had been paying for over 6+ months. They had other expenses that they were paying on, a lot of billing errors. Again, because they weren't scrutinizing those expenses, right? They were focused on what's the students, the staff, all of those expenses. I believe we were able to. I think they were paying close to $550,000 to $600,000 annually just on telecommunications. We were able to
Wow.
get them a savings of about $110,000 per year. So that's, think about that, what that impact does when they don't have to go out and find more grants, right? They don't have to go out and fundraise. This is money that they already spending, that's going back to the school. Think about the impact that does for the teachers, some of the supplies. If there's any facilities that need to be improved, 300,000 is a lot of money over 3 years, right? So that was high stakes. They were very happy with our services, and they recommended us to other school districts, right? So that's the one that I think was one of the wildest ones that we were able to work with.
Yeah, wow. That's a pretty big deal. And what got my attention was 26 locations, and then how much you say then divided by 26, or whether that was all together. Regardless. But
Mhm.
that's man, that's a big savings. That's a lot of money. That again, just like you said, they could pour back into other areas that could really use that extra money. So yeah, I love that. That's a good case study. Way to go, man.
Mhm.
So let's keep going with the questions, the hot seat. Um, so here's a question that your clients are asking, and often they're not saying it, they're not asking it, but in their mind, in their heart, they're asking it. And that is, do you truly understand the intricacies of my business operations and financial landscape? I mean, are you equipped to identify inefficiencies and tailor situations specific to my industry and my company structure? Tell me what your answer is to that.
So I would say, because we've worked with all industries, you name it, across North America, we have a team of experts, like I mentioned here at the beginning. We don't focus on, if you're a service provider, right? Those are the type of things that you focus on. We're experts at the other 20% of those expenses, right? Um, just with my clients, I will never tell you how to do your business. I will only advise you on what I think some of these implementations that are going to bring you savings in the long run are going to be. I always have their best interests for them, because I want a long-term relationship with my clients, right? I'm not selling anything. I'm just figuring out how we can find you savings so that you can put it back into the business, whether it be to get more new staff, retain talent, any investments on any technologies, you name it. A lot of our clients use our savings to be able to improve their products and services.
Oh yeah, I love that too. When cash becomes available, ooh, there's a widget. We need to buy that widget, and they can get it now that they've got some cash freed up. And all that kind of leads me to my next thought. Are your recommendations genuinely in my best interest, or are they influenced by external incentives? In other words, can I trust that your guidance is unbiased and solely aimed at enhancing my financial health?
Yeah, the beauty of our services is we're completely independent from vendors. So whereas, maybe other consulting firms, they may have ties with vendors, we're completely independent. We don't have a horse in the race. So we have the best interest for you, right? We don't get any kickbacks. If we find out, we get you a vendor, we don't get any kickbacks. No, we want to find you the best savings possible, because we're a results based service, right? The more we're able to find for you, the more we share on that service fee, right? Another thing is, we don't, you always have control. As a client, you control whether you want to implement the savings or not. You have the go or no go at the end of the day, right? So I think that's what makes us very unique in our space.
Okay, good. I really like that too. And what I hear you say is you're not going to come back to me and say, "Well, man, I got a cousin over here, and I got over there, and my uncle over here. They could really help you." You're not going to be saying that to me because y'all don't have vendors.
We don't have
You
vendors now.
you're everything's internal. So hey, you already won me over. So
Yeah, I
that
mean that's one thing that you don't really think about, right? Like, okay, are you bringing in vendors that are have you do you have any ties with them? Because that'll happen in the industry where you'll bring a, like you said, a cousin or someone that you've worked with that are going to give you a kickback for getting that service, and then maybe you end that service and in the future the prices might jack up back up. You don't know that, and that's a good thing about here at Schooley Mitchell. We're completely independent.
will you be transparent about potential risk and realistic outcomes? I mean, are you forthcoming about the challenges we might face during the efficiency optimization process?
Absolutely, you have to. With any client engagement, you have to set expectations, right? We don't want to burden our clients with extra work. There is a minimum amount of investment in time, right? Such as some of the document gathering, some of the invoices, but the return on that is much greater, right? You're not having You can do this internally, right? You can set someone aside in your team to research how to find savings in a specific category. That might take hours, maybe weeks to really get a hold of, to understand, and then go in there out there and negotiate blindly, right? Because you may not have the benchmarks like we do, right? So the commitment is more of the, hey, we'll gather some documentation, but after that, we are the ones that take over and negotiate on your behalf. Not only that, through our engagement on a quarterly basis, we're going to be your watchdogs, right? We're going to make sure that there's no price increases, that there's no errors. So that's the great thing about it, right? And that's where our clients see the value of our services.
Oh yeah, so I like that. I mean, I love everything that I'm hearing, and your trust credit score is just getting higher and higher and higher with me, and hopefully our audience. And that's what the whole point of this is. So far we've already scored you on appearance and body language and integrity and motives and skill set and all of those things. So here's one that I mean this comes right home to me. And that is, can you communicate complex financial concepts in an understandable manner? I mean, will our interactions be clear, concise, and free from unnecessary jargon that I don't understand?
Yeah, I think you want to simplify and communicate in the communication, right? You have you there's genius in simplicity, right? There's no need for big words, right? No need, everything is communication is key. There's a one of my favorite sayings is communication is a response you get, right? So the response I get from my clients or from my prospects or whoever I'm working with is, have I communicated effectively so that they understand the next steps, whether that be an implementation of a new vendor, right? What does that entail? Where there will there be some disruption, right? We don't want any disruption. That has to be communicated. But if there is one of their services that might need some, like, what does that look like? But being able to have that communication is key.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I've been in conversations with professionals and they start using acronyms and I'm starting to scratch my head. What did he mean by that? He used it again. What does that mean? And so you explain those acronyms. You don't use them until we really understand what they're all about. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the good thing is also, if we have a specific category that does have some jargon, I have an analyst team, right? Depending on the category, that might be able to communicate that effectively. Let's say I'm working with someone at the plant of a manufacturing, right? That maybe they understand the language I bring an expert so that they can communicate that, right? And that's the beauty of my team. I'm able to bring in experts that, and if need be, I can, translate if needed, right? Be able to, hey, the analyst, maybe we need to communicate this in a better way. So having more people to effectively communicate the solution.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Stephen Covey wrote a book about the 7 habits of, highly effective people. And it's a thick book. It's exhaustive. It is really, really great. And most people don't finish it. So his brother wrote the same book and called it 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teenagers. And it was written for teenagers, and people could grasp the concept so much quicker. So some of us have to have that. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're going to talk in my language. So thank you very much. Now, you already told us about this school in 26 locations. That's pretty impressive. So do you have a proven track record of improving financial efficiency for businesses similar to mine?
Absolutely, right? So it is a franchise. I am part of a franchise, and the beauty of a franchise is being able to leverage the 300 locations across the North America, their expertise, all of the franchisees that have worked in different industries, not to mention the experts at home office, right, that are in each of those categories, being able to understand and keep up with any new technological advancements, right? Telecommunications is the big one. How often do you check your phone systems? How often are you improving on that? The internet providers that go in. All of that technology is moving so fast. They are keeping up with that. And, it's sometimes not scrutinized. Companies are not looking at that like they should, right? So there's price creeps. There's constantly increases in those pricing. But when you look at the marketplace as a whole and be able to use the benchmarks and the data to be able to have those negotiations, that's where the power of the system really comes to light and helps our clients.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I like that too, that you already have a track record of people who have those expertise in different areas. One of the things that's AI. It's here with us. And I've already got 3 AI accounts, and one of those, somehow or another, I got plugged into a team account that I didn't need. And so, boy, I had to backpedal on that and go through some hoops and get that dispelled so that I didn't have the need to have a team AI account. But I use it every day. So another question that I have is, will you find savings we didn't even know were on the table? Or do you just have a package of internal things that you do? But will you be looking for other stuff?
That's a great question. So, as a good advisor and consultant, um, you have to understand the business and understand those cost categories, right? I'm not going to package you, hey, this is what you should be. It's more of understanding their business, asking the right questions, so that I can bring out, okay, maybe there's an opportunity here to look at the savings. We'll never burden you with 5, 6 different categories at the same time, right? We want to focus on your priorities. So I'd walk you through that fact finding conversation where, hey, there's 6 categories that we could look at. Which are the main ones? Which are the ones that you want me to focus on, so that we can start there, and then be able to work through those, so it doesn't burden your team, right? That's what I don't want. I want to make sure I'm adding value, not reducing some of the resources internally, so that we continue that process and we're able to streamline that. Once we finish with 1 or 2 cost categories, then we go on to the next, and so on and so forth, until we find as much opportunities and savings as we can.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I like that as well. Somebody told me one time, follow the money.
Yep.
You know, follow the money, see where the money trail is. Somebody also told me that if you really want to find out about a person's priorities, pull out their checkbook. And when you start going through somebody's checkbook or debit card now,
Yeah.
checkbook, but their debit card, and you'll go, oh my word, look how much money they spent here. Why'd they do that here? And you
Oh
just
yeah.
see all the things all of a sudden. Wow, I can tell what your priorities are. I can tell what's got your attention and your focus. And so you pull into that, and you can tell people, man, you got sucked into something that it's not serving you at all, but it's taking money out month after month after month, right?
Yeah, it's the death by a thousand cuts, right? You have leaks here and there. Again, they may not be priorities, but they add up after years, right? Like, I mean, I probably have some subscriptions that I need to look at, right? Some am I looking at my Hulu or am I watching my, some of these subscriptions that I have? So even in even in our own lives, it's always good to look at what our spends look like. So I
And
mean, even
having somebody else
yep,
look at our subscriptions, and then we have to justify them to them. What? How come you're subscribed to that?
yes,
Well, I could use that one of these days. Well, have you touched it in the last 6 months? No, but I'm thinking about it. Well,
hmm
why don't you resubscribe when you actually decide to move on it? So,
exactly.
yeah. A few months ago, actually 15 months ago, we built a house out in our subdivision. And one of the things that our builder did is that every Thursday, just after lunch, we would get about a 20-minute call, and the person that sold us a house and the person that was the building contractor would meet with us, and they would tell us what was going on. They would tell us, okay, well, we're pouring your slab probably by the end of this week. We've got it all framed up and all the plumbing is in, electrical, all of that. So we're going to pour the slab, and then after we pour the slab, they're gonna bring the wood out, and we're gonna put up the walls. And every Thursday, just after lunch, we'd get a 15 or 20-minute call. So I want to ask you, will you keep us in the loop with clear, respectful communication every step of the way?
I mean, that's probably one of the most important parts of serving my clients, being able to keep them up to date with the implementation process, right? I I've had a passion for client management, being able to add value to my clients. And one of those is creating those touch points, right? So that they don't think it's like I get the service and then I go away. No, like depending on what they want me, I can go, if we're in town or if it's someone, across, we can meet on Zoom. But having those touch points are huge, right? Building that relationship, continuing that relationship, because that's also, might be an opportunity to maybe get some more business from those opportunities, right? Maybe there's a referral opportunity. Maybe the CEO, the CFO may know someone that might need my services. So it's so important to add value that way, making sure they understand what's going on, why the audit may be taking longer than expected, why the type of savings that we're looking for, right? All of those is having clear communication is vital to client management and to continue adding value, because at the end of the day we want them to continue to be our clients, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that's leading to the next question I'm going to ask you. But before I get to that question, somebody said one time, no news is good news. And that's not true. When people are buying your services and they're not getting news, our minds have more of a tendency to go down to the negative than they do to optimism. And so when there's no news, we start worrying about bad news. How come they're not talking to me? Did they find something really bad? Ooh, is he having to call in other experts? And oh my word, we could be losing money. Bankruptcy is in the future. What are we going to do? No news is not good news. Feeding people news about what's going on is really helpful. You believe that?
I totally agree 100%, because again, it's a relationship. They're You're my client. I'm going to serve you. I'm going to add value in any way I can, keep you in the loop of things, right? And that's super important.
Yeah, I like that. So you've been dancing around this last question that I'm going to ask you, and that is, are you going to create a one-time win, or set us up for ongoing operational excellence. I mean, are you going to stick with us, after you've done?
Yes, that's one of the ongoing services that we provide, being your watchdogs, right? Being the people, we're going to be in your corner on a quarterly basis. That first audit is the most important, right? Being able to get a baseline of those expenses, analyze those vendors. If there's an implementation, making sure that those vendors are providing the services that they promised. If there was a change of vendor, right? Also, being able to audit that on a quarterly basis is a huge part of our services, right? Um, Someone in your team, if you're with our client, has now passed that on to us, and to make sure that it's being constantly optimized. Are there any savings, in the marketplace? Are there any promotions, right? We're constantly looking for promotions that maybe that first year we didn't get, but maybe the next year we were able to get. It all depends on that, and you need watchdogs to be able to help you with that.
Yeah, thank you. The deal is the earth keeps spinning and life keeps happening and business keeps happening and those linkages keep happening as well. So if you've got something ongoing with me that, is not just super expensive, but it keeps monitoring where there's leakage and where there's problems, then, well, thank goodness, I can, spend a little to save a lot. I like that idea.
Uh-huh.
So we've had a great conversation today, and it's really been neat to hear everything that you guys offer and the way you help us. And without question, you've raised my trust or your trust credit score with me a lot. And not that it was low, but all of these things are just feeding the signals, the five signals of trust that made me have confidence in bringing Schooley Mitchell into my organization. Now I know that to execute a comprehensive financial efficiency strategy, you've got to have a team in house or not of experts like certified professional accountants, cost analysts, process improvement strategists, technology consultants, and change management experts. Are there any others that you have that you want to tell us about just briefly? Some of the team that help you.
Yeah, within my network, I mean, it's we add value to the CPAs, the fractional executives, right? Like your CFOs, your CMOs. If their clients need some budgetary room, right? Maybe you're offering a service to them, maybe on the marketing side, and they may not have the budget or the room to bring us in. I can have a figure out a way to find them some money that maybe can pay that marketing, or your services on the bookkeeping side, or any projects that you're trying to build, right? So the easy thing, the great thing about my services is we can work with pretty much anyone, right, in business. And our best friends are other consultants, other bookkeepers, CPAs, anyone that's serving clients. We're just another value add for them. So we're always going to make them look even better.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think that's great. So you answered a lot of great hot seat questions. Mario, you've just done a tremendous job. I want to compliment you on that. And they just seem to flow from you naturally. I love that. I can tell you're an expert in what you do. So as we wrap up, is there anything you would like to add to what you've already said?
The only thing I'd like to add is I am here to serve people, right? I serve, like, I've been a tour guide, I've been a server, I've been a consultant, I've been everything that I've come to be up until this point is serving people and serving clients is what I love to do. Because of that, I'm always trying to add value to my clientele. So the only thing I could say is, I'd love to have a conversation, see if it's worth my services. If not, that's great. Best of luck. But it's never going to be a pushy sales call, right? It's always going to be a valuable conversation. And if I can help you, great. If not, best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Now, Mario, how can people get in touch with you? What, your website, phone number, email?
Yes.
Both.
My phone number is 512-522-8922. My website is www.schooleymitchell.com/mrobles. And then you can also find me on LinkedIn, Mario Robles, Schooley Mitchell. I'll be happy to connect with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Mario, for being my guest today.
Well, I just wanted to thank you because I think trust is the most important part of any relationship, right? And I think you're bringing that, you're building such a great network of people and bringing a lot of people that have that you can trust, right? That's one of the most important things. And with technology advancements and all that, AI, right, a buzzword out there, right? We need trust in people more than ever. So hats off to you, Scott. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, you're very, very welcome. I know how big trust is to me and what it's done. I've broken trust. I've built trust, and I broke trust, and then I rebuilt trust. And it's so much easier to keep trust than it is to have to rebuild it once you've broken it. But I know that it's what moves the needle. When people trust you, it moves the needle. When people don't trust you, they start gaslighting you and ghosting you, and it's no fun. So thank you very much for being my guest. Now, if you're watching the podcast today, did you enjoy the Change Energizer podcast? If you're listening and thinking, I'd crush it in the hot seat, or this would be a killer way to build trust with my prospects, you're absolutely right. So let's talk. Head to calltheenergizer.com and book a quick call with me. We'll see if the hot seat is a right fit for you. You'll walk away with a personalized trust profile, a podcast episode featuring your expertise, and the most powerful credibility tool your reputation has ever had. Trust moves the needle. Let's make sure yours is working for you. Or if you'd like to bring me into your company or conference to run a live hot seat session that energizes your people and elevates your trust culture, let's talk about that too. Because when trust goes up, everything goes up. Until next time, stay energized and stay tuned. I'm Scott Carley, the Trust Energizer.